All right, what's up, you guys? This is Cam Jennings, aka Zero Fats, coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com and Cloud Money. Welcome to the FAQ section of Cloud Money, you guys. So before I started working on Cloud Money, I like to do a lot of research. I showed you guys one way to do research. Another way to do research is, to ask your audience, what they're having problems with. I knew I was going to be creating a course about, creating products, creating digital assets, because I think it's really important to be able to do it. So I knew I wanted to create another course about it. And I wanted to ask some people on Facebook what they thought were some of the major problems they had with creating digital products and doing product launches. And I did down a lot of the things people said, because a lot of people had answers for me, things that they were having trouble with when it came to launching products. And I want to go over some of those with you now. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up my little thing here, and we'll get into this right now, and I will answer these questions, guys. I like to think I covered a lot of these in Cloud Money, but I want to just go over all these things people said to me here, just in case I didn't, and I'll address them right here. So someone said the idea phase is the most challenging, in my opinion, my honest opinion. Okay, so with this idea phase thing, I like to think I addressed that in Cloud Money. So, the first thing is you do research, right? So you try to figure out where the pulse of the market is. You try to figure out what they want to hear about, what they're interested in, right? Then you figure out what you can add to that. What are the 2 cents that you can add to that? Do you even want to talk about that, right? So that's one thing. Do your market research. The second thing is there's several ways to go about the product creation. Idea phase. Another thing with the idea phase is angle, right? So it's one thing to go out there and find people who there and get your finger on the pulse of the market and figure out, hey, everyone's interested in affiliate marketing and driving traffic. That seems to be what's the biggest deal right now. Well, now it's about angle. What angle are you going to use on it, right? And one angle really good for me is called the glass slipper offer. And I think I talked to you guys about this already, but it's basically where you solve one problem with multiple solutions. Like if you went out there and you figured out that like tons of people are interested in driving traffic, well, you go find 120 ways to drive traffic to a website, right? You can go to YouTube to find ways to do it. You can go to blog posts to find ways to do it. You just basically accumulate a bunch of ways to be put together, maybe write a paragraph on each way to do it, or shoot a quick video on each way to do it. And, basically you're giving them tons of ways to solve one problem. The idea is that some of those ways are going to resonate with them people, right? They're not going to resonate with all of them, right? They don't need to. They just need to resonate with one or two to really get that idea, to get that spark, to get that value for your product to be valuable and to help them succeed, right? So that's one way to do it. When you got your market research done and you're trying to figure out what kind of course you want to create, that's one way to do it. Solve the problem with multiple solutions. Another way to do it is just solve the problem with one solution, just one solution, and go pretty in depth on it. Give them a real deal strategy on how to solve it with this one solution. In Cloud Money, the main solution in Cloud Money was, hey, let's use these Google classes to do, cloud-based courses where you don't have to put a big footprint on your hard drive, and it's all completely free. And these classes come together really easily, and they produce, good engagement, right? It's pretty awesome. So that was kind of the angle for Cloud Money, So angle for Cloud Money is I wanted it to be really easy for people, I wanted it to be easy to get into and figure it out. So to do that, I went pretty in depth in some of the videos, but I needed to do it, and I wanted people to get it. So it's all good. But the idea phase, man, I think, if you got a good idea, roll with it. If you don't got a good idea, trust in your market research and then look for a good angle. And when it comes to angles, a lot of times I'll look in my swipe file. I'll look in like, we all have emails where like we got marketers bombarding us with emails every single day, right? I'll look at some of the subject lines, see if I can find an angle in those subject lines. I'll go to websites like dig.com and I'll see if I can find an angle in some of their subject lines. I'll go to Warrior Plus and I'll see some of the angles people are using on successful products. What kind of angle are they using? A lot of times some of the reoccurring angles you'll see coming up over and over again are things like case study. There's the case study angle, the step-by-step walkthrough angle. There's a few things that you see coming up over and over again. But that's what I'll do to come up with ideas. One thing I want you to remember, you guys, you don't need to be like 100% original on ideas. We all learned something somewhere. We all learned everything somewhere. If you learn something in Cloud Money that resonates with you, now can you go and can you teach it? Can you go and teach it in your own course? Of course you can. If you want to be nice, you can give credit to me. You can say, hey guys, I want to show you about these Google classes. I learned this from Cam Jennings in his Cloud Money course. I thought it was awesome, and I kind of want to show you. I want to show you a little bit about how to do that now. You can do that, man. You can do that. And that's okay. Ideas are not copyrightable. Okay, so I'm not telling you to steal from people, but I want you to understand that's not stealing. Stealing is when you go out there and you take my videos and you sell them as your own, or you go out, you take my videos and you put them somewhere for free, so everyone can get them. That's stealing, all right? But you learning something from me and doing that yourself is not stealing, okay? It's not. It's just not. So ethical line in the sand, but that's not stealing. So you can totally do that. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. I'd say focusing on just the next step is the hardest thing. So this person's saying, I'd say just focusing on the next step is the hardest thing about, putting out digital products. And he's right. That is a hard thing, you guys, because there's all these little things you have to do, right? There's all these little, a lot of wheels to get into place. All these little aspects have to come together. But look, here's what's worked for me, you guys. Give yourself just one thing to do. Give it to yourself the night before. Say, okay, tomorrow I want to get this done. All right. So that means tomorrow comes around and you get that one thing done, right? And it's something that has to move your project forward, right? Because I look at these digital assets like projects. They're like right now I'm working on the Cloud Money project. I'm trying to get it to launch, right? So I'm finishing up this video here, guys, and then I'm going to start on the marketing of it, and then I'm going to launch the thing, and that's it, right? Then I'll move on to my next thing. So what you want to do, the name of the game, you guys, is keep moving forward. And I kind of got to where I was doing 3 things a day, and that works for me. So before I go to bed, I'll try to come up with my next 3 things that I want to get done tomorrow. Done, and that's it. But I started with just one thing, right? And I needed to get the one thing done that moves my business forward, okay? And that's it, right? So that's what I would say is time blocking. And what I mean by that is, if I want to get that one thing done, I'll set some time aside. I'll schedule time for me to do it. The one thing I wanted FAQ video, then I say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to get the FAQ video done for Cloud Money, and I'm going to schedule myself from 7 to 8 p.m. to get it done, and that's it, right? So I'll know it's an appointment for myself at 7 p.m. I'm going to be recording the video. So what happens if you do that is you move your stuff forward slowly but surely. You move forward, right? Don't let it overwhelm you. Make yourself a map of everything you want to get done, and then schedule it out into days. All right. And then just time block, schedule a time that day that you're going to be working on that. And that's it. All right. So that's what I'd say has helped me a lot. And I think that'll stay focused and move on to the next step. You start thinking about pricing, what ifs, and a bunch of other shit instead of just creating the content or do the task you already know you need to do or make. So it's kind of another it's another one where he's having trouble staying focused. I like to think we addressed pricing inside Cloud Money, you guys. When it comes to pricing, you kind of look at your market and see what everyone else is doing with pricing. You know, generally for me, what converts really well for me on these information products and the digital marketing space is if my front end is under $10, right? If it's like, you know, between $5 and $10, and then that converts really well. And then the next step up, I can go to $27, and then another $27 product, and then I can go up to like $197, and that works really good for me. And then each one of those things in the funnel, like I showed you guys, I'll have a downsell product. So that's what works really good for me when it comes to pricing. But I'll tell you something, it's arbitrary. It's very arbitrary. If you ask 10 people on this pricing subject, you'll get 10 different answers. So, you know, it's quite arbitrary, and everyone's got their own rule book when it comes to pricing. And I don't think it's something you should beat yourself up over too much, but you can ask a bunch of people about pricing. And the general rule of thumb is if you price something under $10, you know, more people are going to buy it. More affiliates are going to, I got $1. Something with a deep funnel that starts at under $10 for the front end offer, because I know I'm going to make more money. I know I'm going to get more sales, and that's just the way it is. You know, if you want me to promote a product that costs $27 on the front end, I know I'm not going to sell as many, right? And that means less people going through the funnel, and that means less overall money made. So I say, but you know, you ask 10 people, you get 10 answers on it. So anyways, next one, finishing the product. Thinking about whether people will want this, thinking whether you'll get JVs, right? So when it comes to finishing the product, like I said, guys, schedule at least one thing to get done a day, map out everything you need to get done, schedule at least one thing a day, time block, right? When it comes to being discouraged, I'll tell you something about being discouraged. The grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence. You know, when you're looking around your space, it always looks like other people are doing better than you. Worry about what other people are doing. You know, only worry about what they're doing if you plan on modeling some of the things they're doing. But don't worry about what they're doing as far as like, oh, they're doing better than me, everything I'm doing is wrong. No, listen to me. You will get much farther not worrying about what other people are doing and keeping your nose to the grindstone and trying to move forward with your stuff, okay? A lot of that's just mental, you know? You can glean really what other people are doing, and you can think, you know what, I like what they're doing with that situation right there. I think on my next product, I want to try that strategy. But don't let it affect what you're currently doing on this project. Don't let it affect your vision. Move forward, all right? So don't be discouraged by what other people are doing. Focus on the real stuff that you're doing. About whether people will want this. So that's why we do market research in the very beginning. So we know it's proven. We know the market wants this. We've looked in 3 or 4 different forums. We've looked in Facebook groups. We know what the market wants. We know what they're asking for. So confidence when it comes to that kind of thing, because everyone gets those before launch jitters. Before you launch a new product or a new class, you know, you're going to feel like, oh man, what if no one buys this? You know, what's going to happen? Listen, you know what? You're going to launch it. It's going to be what it's going to be. There's no losing. You know, if you launch it and you sell 15 copies, guess what? It's cool. You look at your process, you examine what happened, and you think, how can I sell more? Okay, what did I do wrong? What did I not do as well that I can improve upon? All the little parts of your process, man, and then you try to amp up your game and the parts that you thought you didn't do as good on, you know, and that's it. So the next time you try to sell 100, you know, the time after that you try to sell 150, you know, you kind of just amp up your game. But yeah, you know, that's it. You know, don't worry about, whether people want this or not. You handled that with your market research in the very beginning. Thinking about whether you're going to get JVs. I'll tell you something, getting JVs can be inconsistent, what the affiliates are going to do. They might promote for you, they might not. The bigger you get and the more leverage you have, the more they're going to want to promote for you, right? The bigger the name you have, the more that you can sell yourself, right? The more that you can sell yourself, the more they're going to want to promote for you, all right? All you can do is follow a system when it comes to getting JVs. Give yourself time to get JVs, right? I give myself at least 7 days to do JV recruitment. If I'm going to launch a product, I give myself at least 7 days for nothing but JV recruitment, right? And all I do in that 7 days is I reach out to potential JVs and affiliates, and I ask them, if they're interested in promoting my stuff, right? And I give them review access, and I give them the details of the launch, and that's all I do for those 7 days, right? And that's a process, and you got to trust the process, and you do it. And sometimes it works better than other times, so JV traffic and like affiliate traffic can be a little bit unpredictable sometimes, right? But for the most part, you can do really, really good, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. The more relationship you build with JVs, and the more money you make. That's point blank how it is, right? I think that it's good to be working on building your list outside of just JV traffic, right? So if you get JVs to send you traffic, they buy your product, and then those people go on your list. But it's good to be building your list in other ways also, not just JVs, right? Because it's a little unpredictable sometimes. It's a little bit unpredictable. So anyways, let's move on. But here's what final thing I'll say about that JV thing. Just trust your process, right? Do the things I told you to do in Cloud Money, okay? List your product launch on Muncheye. Go about 50 or 60 to Facebook. Post your launch details, all right? Go to reach out, target affiliates on like Warrior Plus and JVZoo, affiliates from contests of products that are similar to yours. Reach out to all those affiliates. Start to try to get to know them. Do what I told you to do. Trust that process. If you trust that process, you will get some affiliates. All right, and that's what you got to do. You got to put the work in on that JV thing. Okay, one more thing that will stop you dead in your tracks, as it did me, is perfectionism. Period. All right. I understand that. You want your stuff to be just perfect. But what you have to understand is it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to help people, right? It's not going to be perfect. You're going to put it out there. You're going to have a map for the product. I showed you guys how to do it. You're going to have a map for the product. You put it out there, and you do your best, man. You do your best to provide a good product for people. With the idea in mind that, hey, I'm probably going to up the product next year. I'm probably going to update it. I'm going to come out with a new version of it, and it's going to be even better, man. So I feel like they're finished. You know what I mean? An artist never feels like he's finished with his painting. So the thing about it is, you put these products out here, and you're putting them out there because you're a couple steps ahead of the people who are buying them, all right? So they need it to help them, right? And you're giving it to them, and it's going to help them. You don't need to worry about if it's perfect or not, because it's not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. The people buying the product, it's not perfect, right? If it was perfect, it'd probably be boring. so it doesn't need to be perfect. You know what's better than perfection? Opinion is better than perfection. Have an opinion. Have a take on something, right? Your personality and your takes are more important than being perfect. All right, and that's what I'll say about that. So the only thing I find hard is when you are not one of the boys. Your product won't be promoted by the big boys, which seem to promote only each other's products and thus pass on contest prizes back and forth. Yes, you're right. It is hard in the beginning. And we talked about this when we were talking about, you know, JV traffic and affiliate traffic. Yeah, absolutely. The big boys do promote each other, you guys, because they are proven. They've proven to each other they can make each other money, right? Now, if you were in their shoes, you would do the same thing. Way. That might be frustrating for a new guy. You need to ask yourself is, how do I become a big boy, right? It's not like, oh my God, the big boys won't promote for me. It's, how do I become a big boy, right? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And I'm answering it for you right here inside Cloud Money. Build an audience, build an email list, right? Because the way that you become a big boy is by wrecking those leaderboards, right? You say, passing the contest prizes back and forth. Well, I've came in on leaderboards and I've wrecked those leaderboards. People didn't know who I was. I just came out of nowhere and wrecked the leaderboard, right? Just because I felt like it, right? And I did it, and I took the prizes. And let me tell you something. As soon as I did it, people were knocking on my door asking me, you know, what I had going on and what I was up to, because all of a sudden they saw me as a force. They saw me as someone who could help them in the future, right? Don't ask yourself, why can't I get big boys to promote for me? Ask yourself, how can I become a big boy? All right. And the answer is leverage. Build leverage in the market, right? And what that means is build your audience, build your email list, okay? You know, the bigger you build those, the more leverage you have and the more of a big boy you become. All right, so don't get frustrated. Focus, focus, focus. Keep grinding, keep moving forward. In my honest opinion, my products don't have bonuses or contests because I believe they're worth much more than the asking price already and don't need contests or bonuses simply because of the quality of the products. But sadly, it doesn't get recognized at all because most affiliates and marketers all have money signs in their eyes only and email the shit out of their lists. Funds. However, it is still my problem, so I may need to find another audience or platform that does resonate more with my products. Kudos to you, as I can see how much effort and work you put into your products, but unfortunately, that's more the exception than the rule. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. However, listen, this is the wrong attitude to have, you guys. Okay, I don't put bonuses or do contests because I believe they're much more than the asking price already. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, we put bonuses. Well, first of all, I try to over deliver on my products and he recognized that, and that's great. But guys, I want you to know something. When I launch products, I put a new bonus on the download page every day of my launch cycle. Okay, I usually launch for 4 days. On the first day, I launch the product. On day 2, I put a bonus in there. Day 3, I put a bonus in there. And day 4, I put a bonus in there. That's in addition to the bonuses I have in there when I launch. Now, I told you guys I'm launching with Enter the Foundation and Crash the Party inside Cloud Money. But on day 2, guys, I'm going to put another bonus in there for you. On day 3 of the launch, I'll put another bonus in there for you. And on day 4, I'll put another bonus in there for you. Why do I do it, right? Why do I put all these bonuses in there if I got this great product that's over delivering? It's worth way more than the $7 or $8 that you paid for it. I'll tell you why, okay? So when we launch a product, there's a tug of war going on. You're not the only one launching products, okay? You're launching a product, 15 other people that are launching a product on that day. You know, maybe not on your network, maybe they're on a different network, but there's still products out there in your space being launched. Still, on that day 1, you kind of have the spotlight. But on day 2 of your launch, you kind of get pushed to the back a little bit because new product launches on that day, right? And that takes center stage. If I put a bonus out on day 2, then that's something new. That's a new novel thing about my product. It's going to push more people to buy my thing, right? Also, it's going to give my affiliates something else to talk about, right? I'm putting a bonus out there every day, and that's why we put bonus there. It's something else to talk about. It gives our customers something else to look forward to and to check out. That's why we're doing it, man. It's all about buzz. It's all about hype. And to act like you don't need hype and you don't need buzz because your products are good is wrong. That's not the right mentality, and it's not true, okay? What you need is you need a great product and you need hype. You need hype and buzz, right? And that's how you succeed. You don't succeed. Do you know how many great products have been put out that didn't have any buzz or didn't have any hype and they just flopped, man? They were great, but no one was buying them because they didn't know about it, because they were too busy looking at the products that had lots of people talking about them. So it takes both of those things. You know, it takes some hype and buzz, and it takes a great product. When it comes to contests, why do we do contests? Why do we run contests for our affiliates? I'll tell you why. Because, okay, that gives the affiliates the chance to flex their muscle. It gives them a chance to show off. You know, it's status. It is status. If I am constantly ranking on affiliate leaderboards, that says Cam Jennings knows his craft. He knows affiliate marketing. Other people see that, right? Other people talk about that. Customers see that. Customers talk about that. People who might want me to coach them see that. They talk about that, okay? It's status. It helps my business to be good. So by having these contests for your product launches, you give the affiliates a chance to have status. You give them a chance to show off. And in this game, you know, you got to show off a little bit. Okay? And that's why they draw in affiliates. And, you know, affiliate tests. I like contests. I do affiliate marketing. I love contests. You know, it's not as fun to promote a product without a contest. Yeah. I was going to say something else about that, but I think that pretty much covers it. I think that's yeah, I think that's about it. It's not how good your products are. Say you have 0 refunds, all that tells me is you might not have sold that many. That's what that tells me, and that's going to tell a lot of people. A lot of people are going to think that, because people know when they start selling 1,000 units, 2,000 units, they're going to get. Now, I think one of two things. Refunds, I think one of two things. Either you didn't sell a lot, or you have a special refund policy in place that keeps people from refunding the first 30 days, like I do. I put a special refund policy in place. It keeps people from refunding the first 30 days. So that way when I launch my products, my refund rates are extremely low, and that attracts affiliates. High refund rate, they're not into promoting that. Okay? Who wants to promote something if your people are just going to refund on it, right? Nobody wants that. So, but that's what I think. The 0 refund thing doesn't tell me anything. It just tells me that, I mean, that's cool. It sounds cool on a surface level, but a pro will know. A pro would know. You're not going to fool a pro, okay? You say you have a 0 refund rate, and a pro is going to know. They're going to know either you didn't sell a lot or you have a special refund policy in place, because refunds are part of the game, man. Some people just want to see what's in the box. Some people just want to, you know, they just want to see what's in there. No, I don't mean to be harsh on any. I'm speaking my mind on these comments, guys, in an effort to help you, okay? I'm not trying to put anybody down or anything like that. Matter of fact, this thing where you say I had 0 refunds, I've actually said that before. I've said that I had 0 refunds. Awesome. Wasn't quite as experienced when I said that. So a pro will know, all right? And that's just the way it is. I don't think, like you say, however, it's still my problem. I need to find another audience or platform that does resonate more with my products. People do resonate with your products, man. I think that your problem is hype and buzz. You need to work on your marketing, not your products. That's what I think. So it's an even balance, right? As hard as you work on your products and creating good quality products, marketing just as hard, and that's important too. You got to brand yourself or your business, and you got to work on your marketing. Okay, so very first launch ever. I'm already losing sleep over not being able to recruit the top JVs. Even if I were to somehow manage to put aside some money for JV prizes, any money I would put aside seems ridiculous compared to the big dogs prizes. Partnering with a big JV is another solution, but that also costs a lot of money. I'm not sure if I should just play by the rules of the game and just do something about securing big prizes, yet to figure out how, or just offer what I can afford but risk end up with much lower sales rates, or even worse, lower conversion, higher conversion refund rates. Even prizes with minimums don't seem to attract the big guys either. I think this is a situation where you got a newer guy who's going to do his first launch, and he's frustrated because he can't get any of the big guys to commit to promoting for him. And we've talked about that, you guys. Big guys, until you prove yourself a little bit, you're not going to get a lot of big guys on board to promote for you, unless you pay the big guy money and he's your coach, and then he'll promote for you, right? And you're right. That does cost a lot of money. Kind of pay to play, isn't it? What I would recommend is do your best, trust the JV process, post in the JV groups, post on Muncheye, reach out to JVs individually, knowing you're probably not going to pull in a lot of JVs at your first launch. You can set up the contest with minimums in place so you don't lose money, right? Minimum of 25 sales or minimum of 50 sales, whatever you think you need to set the minimums at, set it up like that so that you don't lose money, all right? At least the contest is there and it's in place, and it'll attract some JVs, Well, I have a contest, but there's a minimum of 25 front-end units. That doesn't bother me. I know I can push 25 front-end units. I don't care. If you got a minimum of 25 front-end units, cool. We can roll with that. I don't care. The people who care about that kind of a minimum are people who don't feel like they can push 25 front-end units. That's less competition for me. I don't care. So, don't worry about the minimums on the prizes, right? But don't overextend yourself either. Don't offer something you don't think you can make. At the same time, with minimums, it's hard to lose. I mean, you're not going to give out prize money unless they sell. Unless they sell enough to pay for the prizes. Your launch will cover the prizes. Just set the minimums. That's what I say to that. And don't expect a ton of JVs on your first launch. Don't expect it, man. Do your best and just plan to build on it. There's going to be a second launch. There's going to be a third launch, and you'll do better on each one. So just evaluate your process when it's all over. Look at your data, see how many units, see how things are the next time, and that's it. Don't get too wrapped up in it. The big guys are going to promote the big guys. Your job is to become a big guy. Your job is not to complain that the big guys aren't going to promote for you. Okay, that's it, right? So, and that's it, man. And you do it, and you know how you do it. I've talked about it already. You wreck those leaderboards. You become a big guy yourself, all right? I agree, but what good is a launch if you don't – I said something back to him, and then he says, I agree, but what good is a launch if you don't end up with a decent size? I mean, isn't that what the ultimate goal should be? This is especially true when you're giving JV Zeus sitting there with little leftover crumbs, if any at all. Maybe I should rethink this whole 100% commission thing and substitute it with prizes. But I know that want both. So for me, it's going to be one or the other for sure. This guy's defeated before he even starts, guys. You don't want this kind of attitude. And it's not his fault. It's frustrating out there when you're first getting started. You're not quite sure how to do things. I think the best thing you can do is look at it like you're building something. You're building an empire, right? It's not just about this one launch. Don't plan on knocking this thing out of the park. Set a goal for yourself for your first launch of 100 units. See if you can push 100 units on this thing. That's what I say. Knowing you're probably not going to get a lot of JVs on this first time out. But you continue to work on building those relationships. You continue to put out quality products. You continue to push, right? Rome wasn't built in a day, you guys. You got to work at it. You got to establish yourself in the market. It works. When he says 100% commissions thing, I know a guy not long ago, Lee Murray. He launched and he only gave 75% on the front end. He gave 75 on the front end, and he gave the funnel. And I hadn't seen that done for a while. And he pushed over 1,000 units. So just taking that 25% away gave him an extra like $2,500. So yeah, I mean, you got to go with your gut. But generally, when you're first starting out, I mean, you got to give you probably should just give 100% commission on the front end and work on building your list. Lee Murray was established. Lee Murray has had like 20 deal of the days. I mean, he's established. He can pull something like that, and it's not a big deal. His products are proven to convert. He's already proven to convert. So people don't mind the 75% on the front end and the 60% through the funnel because they know they're going to make money on the launch. If you're new, make money on your launch. You're brand new. They don't know if your stuff is going to convert or not. It might be easier for them to just go with something more proven. So you gotta offer more on the front. But it's all a process, man. It's all a process. Prove something. Prove something. That's the problem, man. People want things handed to them. It doesn't work that way. Not in this game. Start. If you want to run with the big dogs, run with the big dogs. You can't stay on the porch. So you gotta put in the work, and you gotta keep moving forward. Understanding you're gonna be, first. You gotta build it. So strategize. I kind of told him those same things. Then he said, yep, he's already got the next launch mentally planned. By the way, I know at least a couple of guys who hit it out big from the very first launch, but those were supported by their big name coaches, which is why sometimes getting a coach or partnering up with an established name is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It's a good idea if you can afford it. If you can afford it and they're guaranteed to promote for you, it's a good idea. You got to be able to afford it, man. That's probably about $1,000, $2,000 to get mentoring by a coach. So I know I charge people $1,500 for mentoring. So if you can afford it, not everybody can afford it. So it is a nice shortcut if you can afford it. Should I challenge myself to have a big splash first launch while running solo ads? While running solo and challenge all the odds? That would be freaking awesome. But I better have patience and build it up one launch at a time, I guess is the right way to think about it. Yeah, I think both of those things, man. I think you challenge yourself to do the best product launch that you can do. Also, have realistic expectations as well. It's that age-old scenario, hope for the best, plan for the worst, right? Hope for the best, plan for the worst, have realistic expectations, but man, try to, hit it out of the park. Have amazing goals, but, have realistic expectations, just have crazy outlandish goals. But don't be disappointed when those goals aren't met. I mean, you wanted to make those goals hard, right? So yeah, challenge all the odds, run solo, challenge all the odds. But yeah, man, have realistic expectations about what it's going to do and know that you're building something, and Rome wasn't built in a day. This guy says what's hard about launching products is turning on the computer to do the work. Yeah, there it is, man. It can be hard sometimes. Like I said earlier, it's just, schedule your one thing a day that's going to move your business forward, and make sure you're time blocking. Put some time aside for that one thing. Coming up with a product idea that will sell and JVs who would be interested in promoting. Again, guys, and we talked about this already, trust in your market research for coming up with product ideas. When it comes to, JVs interested in promoting, like I said, guys, we talked about this, you're building it. You're building those relationships with JVs. Have a process for JV recruitment, stick to the process, right? Refine the process, refine it, right? Stick to it, refine it. And if I remember, guys, I will put in a list of JV groups with Cloud Money here for you, right? So that'll help you. Staying focused on a vision instead of going after the quick buck all the time. Yeah, man, that is hard. That is hard, especially when you got things coming up in your email all the time. Guys, sales pages are designed to make things look easy, make things look easy. They're designed to look enticing, and a lot of times you start a new plan, you start a new strategy, you start a new project, and the first few days. But then once you start getting your hands dirty and you start getting into all the work involved, all of a sudden it doesn't look as fun anymore. And then all of a sudden all those little emails and sales pages start to look more inviting because they look easy, right? But you got to trust in your vision, guys. And what I'll say again with that, you guys, that's about making sure you get that rule in place that every day you move your project forward, okay? Right now, like I said, I'm working on cloud money. So everything in my business is about moving cloud money forward, okay? I need to get this product to launch, and that's it, right? So all this other stuff is irrelevant, right? And that's the way you got to kind of look at it. You got to kind of have tunnel vision sometimes, right? You got to make sure you're moving your business forward. For me, it's attracting the right kinds of affiliates, right? As far as creating a product, it's actually getting everything into zip files. I'm all about value, so the downloads can get huge if I don't watch carefully. But when it comes to attracting the right kind of affiliates, that just takes time, man. You build, you target those affiliates on the networks like Warrior Plus and JVZoo. You reach out to them, you build relationships with them. Some of them you're not going to resonate with, and the ones you don't resonate with, just remember that for the future and just take them off your list, right? And just reach out to the ones you like and that you're okay with and you resonate with. Now, as far as like products, getting everything to zip files, I hope that Cloud Money has helped you a little bit in that regard because with Cloud Money, we did everything on the internet. Nothing was put on our hard drive. Nothing was on a hard drive. Everything was saved either on Google Drive or on YouTube or on the internet. Right, so that's pretty cool. And what I'll tell you, man, is instead of putting your products, instead of like putting everything into a zip file and letting people download it, what I suggest you do, if you're doing video, what I suggest you do is you put the videos on YouTube. You can make them unlisted, and then what you do is you make a YouTube video showing people how to download the YouTube videos. Okay, showing them how to download the YouTube videos. And then what you do is you make a PDF document, and on that PDF document you have a link to the video that shows them how to download videos. Then you have a link to all the videos, right? So that way they can go to YouTube and they can download all your videos just like that. Now, if you got a simple text documents, then obviously you can use Google Drive. You can use Google Docs to store your PDFs, and that's easy. But I think what you're talking about is video, and that's what I do with that situation. If it's audio, then what I do with audio is I put it in Dropbox. I put the audio in Dropbox, dropbox.com, absolutely free. And you can do the same. You make the PDF, you put a link to the audio file where they can download it, right? And that's simple, and you don't have to have anything stored on your hard drive to do that in a zip file. Oh man. No digital footprint on your stuff so that you're not bogging down all your computer resources, right? It's important, and we overlook it, but it's important. Creating sales pages when you're a tech dummy. I bought an easy one since I had used Compster. It's hard for me. I'm tweaking pages now as friends tell me what to change. Just got to figure it out, like putting horizontal blue spacer bars. Man, and I don't know, I'm not familiar with Compster either. But, in Cloud Money here, I've tried to walk you through some of the things to help with some of the tech things that I know people have trouble with sometimes when it comes to, I know we kind of walked through the process of, putting a Google class together. We walked through the process of putting the instructional PDFs together. We walked through the process of, starting a Google YouTube event. We walked through the process of, starting the Wix pages and up on Warrior Plus. And, we walked through a lot of processes in Cloud Money that a lot of times people wouldn't necessarily walk through that stuff. They would just tell you what to do. But I wanted to walk through it here because I just felt like I wanted to make sure you guys knew how to do it, right? And I know that a lot of people who buy my products, man, they're starting at level 0, right? And if you're starting at level 0, I kind of wanted to show you how to do it. I'll probably end up doing a summary video, summarizes everything and what you need to do. So anyways, yeah, man, as far as like creating sales pages, what I did and what I suggest doing is, you just try to model the ones that are successful, and you try to make yours look as close to that as possible. And you just try to model what works, and you model enough of what works, and then you start getting a feel for what works. And then you don't have to model as much. You can just kind of do your own thing, right? As long as you understand the science of why things work, you can just kind of start branching out on your own. For me, it's getting past me holding myself back. I haven't launched in nearly 1.5 years. Yeah, that's a good point, man. And I'll tell you something about that. There's momentum lost. You haven't launched in a year and a half. A lot of momentum is lost. People launch about every month or every month and a half, every couple months, and if you don't keep that launch up, keep the launches up, people tend to forget who you are because new launches are always coming out. So you lose some momentum there, and you just got to regain that with marketing. But I think when you talk about that, just getting past you holding yourself back, I think, man, what helped me with that kind of thing, man, is just getting back to basics. When I took a break from launching before, when I came back, I just did a really basic affiliate marketing course for beginners, right? I just wanted to show beginners this basic concept of getting into affiliate marketing and making their first $1,000, right? And that's what I did. And that really helped me, man, because it was something I was really comfortable teaching. And I knew that subject very well. And I knew I was putting out a good quality product. And I also knew it wasn't going to be for everybody. It was just going to be for these beginners. So, and it helped me a lot. And that's what I did. So maybe something like that could help you, just kind of doing a nice beginner level thing that'll help a certain group of people, but not everybody. You don't have to always come out with this next crazy grand thing to top everything else you've done before. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's ridiculous. This guy says originality, just doing something original. And that's funny. That kind of ties into, the last one a little bit. I mean, originality is great. And I think, listen, here's what I think about this originality thing, you guys. Half of the originality is just, can you just be in your natural state? Like if you're writing a report, can you just write the way you talk, like you would talk to a buddy, right? Put some stories in the report, teaching me this. What happened to you? How did you mess up? How did you fail? What's going on with you, right? This is originality, right? Because no one can take your stories. That's your stories. That's what makes you original, right? But as far as like the actionable content of what you're teaching, you don't need to have something groundbreaking every time. Let me tell you something. There's a lot more new people out there who are just trying to get into this game, who just need stuff that works for them, that's proven to work. I mean, you can't teach something that's proven to work over and over again and still be brand new and original, right? It's not original for me to tell you, hey, you need to put a list and keep that email list warm. That's not original, right? Model, though, that's worked for lots of people, lots of companies, it's not original. Doesn't need to be original. It just needs to work. The originality can come from my delivery. The originality can come from me sitting in this garage and talking to you. The originality can come from me telling you a story about how I got started, or the originality can come from me, right? But the actionable content, it doesn't necessarily need to be original. You don't need to always reinvent the wheel. You can just be the guy who helps the guy that's a few steps behind you, right? And that's what I would say to that. Next, consistently getting more affiliates. Who doesn't have problems with that? But this should not hold people back, right? And yeah, he's right, man. Consistently getting more affiliates is always a problem. No matter how much of a big fish you get to be, it's always a problem to get more and more affiliates, right? And I think the answer to that, man, I think that the answer to that is affiliate traffic doesn't need to be your only source of traffic. I think, you reach a point where you need to be exploring Facebook ad traffic. You need to be exploring some other sources of traffic besides just affiliate traffic, right? And that's my answer to that. But I happen to know that the guy who wrote this opinion, you know, he's a 7-figure marketer. Okay. So we're talking about a guy who's pulled in over $1 million with digital assets, who wrote that, consistently getting more affiliates, who doesn't have this problem. But this shouldn't hold people back, right? So yeah, that's a problem. It's going to be a problem. You're always going to have a problem getting more affiliates. If you had 100 affiliates promoting you on this launch, man, the next launch you're going to try to get even more affiliates on board to promote you so you can make even more money, right? And make the launch even bigger, right? So it's always a thing, you know. But I think that you reach a level, and I think that he's reached that level where, you know, you should explore other forms of traffic besides just affiliate traffic. That's my opinion. So anyways, this guy says the problem with launching is rehashed material over and over. Everyone on the Me Too train gets annoying and saturated quickly. That's why I left the space. You're one of the only people that stay unique. You should do a training on how to create unique training. I'd buy it. Do a training on how to be unique. Well, I'll tell you something. It's kind of what I already said, but I think that everybody's unique. Everybody is unique, and that's what I think. I think that, you know, when it comes to being unique, you know, you don't need to worry about being unique. You need to worry about being yourself, because what happens is when you start trying to create a product, you know, you don't. Hold on a second, guys. Let me just. When you start creating a product, you don't think about being yourself. You think about, you know, let me give this information in the best possible way. You know, let me make sure I'm putting a really good, perfect product out there. You don't think, hey, let me show this. Cassie is a slut graffiti on my garage ceiling. You don't think about that, right? But that being said, in my natural state, my podcast chilling out. You guys, like, right? That's my natural state, right? It makes me original, man. That makes me unique because I'm the only one doing that, you know? So you don't need to focus on being original. You just need to focus on being yourself. And it's not easy. It takes practice, you know? You need to do it again and again and again. Talk to a camera over and over again, just to be yourself. And I'll tell you something. When you're feeling nervous in front of a camera, or you're feeling nervous writing something, what you do is you own it. You own it. You own the fact that you're nervous. You own the fact that you feel insecure about it. You say it. You write it down. You put it in the report, or you say it. All right, guys, I'm going to record this video. I'm going to talk to you about doing this. First off, I want you to know I'm not used to being on video, so I'm feeling extremely nervous right now and super insecure that I have a pimple on my nose. All right, that's just the way it is. Right now, I'm feeling very weird about this double chin that I got going on right here, but it is what it is, man. So you own it, right? And by owning it, what happens is you turn a perceived weakness into a strength, right? Because being honest about your things that you're worried about, your weaknesses, it's admirable. It's admirable. And people are not perfect. And you putting yourself out there, it endears you. It endears you, and it makes people like you. Okay? They would rather have the imperfect version that's honest, a real person, versus this perfect fake person that you're trying to pretend to be. Right? So I wouldn't say you need to worry about, you know, being original. You just need to worry about being yourself, and that'll keep you from rehashing stuff. And like, there's going to be some rehash stuff, but can you rehash it in a good way? Can you rehash it in a good way? Look, you to put people on an email list, and that's been said before. But has it been said by a guy in a ball cap and socks in his garage with some weird graffiti behind him that says Cassie's a slut? Probably not. So there's a lot of ways to be original, guys. I mean, you don't always have to be, you know, producing the next groundbreaking original thing, okay? I I say when you're doing these classes and you're doing these reports and stuff, you know, try to answer the questions. You know, try to answer the questions that you would have, right? You know, if you feel like the material is a little rehashed, okay, what can you do to make it not so rehashed? Maybe you can add a story that's interesting. You know, maybe you can tell a story about why this hung you up, right? Maybe you can just own the fact that it's rehashed. You know, this has been said again and again and again, but there's a reason why it's been said again and again, because it works, it's proven, and you need to do it, right? So make it interesting, right? You know, it's you don't always have to say, there's only so many unique things to say, right? I mean, there's only so many strategies out there. I mean, the new stuff now, a lot of it is based on the old stuff, right? I mean, there's all kinds of ways to build an audience. There's all kinds of ways to build an email list, but they're all still based on the simple principle of, hey, I need these people on an email list. These people engaged. And in the sense of Google Classes, you know, we're not focused as much on email lists as we are on putting people in these classes that are highly engaged. You know, it's about audience building. It's about building a rapport with people. Same kind of thing, you know. So I wouldn't sweat the rehashed material as much as I would sweat just making sure I'm providing all the information that they need to win, and also adding some personality into it, just being myself, right? That's what I would focus on, right? If you can do those two things, then you're golden. It's actually not really about the product. I think it's all about your style. Getting to know if your tastes are with the trends can be a plus. LOL. I'm not sure what that one means. Another one, having trouble with JVs and affiliates. Yeah, we talked about that. Trust your process for recruiting JVs. Refine your process as you go. Figuring out how to tell everyone to like my page. New launch next week. How's that for subtle? This is someone trying to promote all my stuff. I stop myself. The self-doubt comes in. I'm no Kevin Fahey, Cam Fats, Chris Cole, or any of you successful marketers. Why would people listen or want to buy stuff from me? LOL. I know how to do it and set it all up, but the voices in my head tell me not to. It's okay. I'm getting tablets to help with the voices in my head. LOL. This is getting pills to help with the voices in his head. Look, here's what I'd say to that, man. First of all, I've been doing this for a while. There's two kinds of people that get followed on the internet, okay? And both of them have power. Both of them can pull leverage from the market, all right? One, the person who you perceive to have arrived, right? Obviously, this guy considers me a successful marketer. He's perceiving me to have arrived somewhere. I don't know where I've arrived. I'm sitting in my garage with some weird graffiti on the wall, but I mean, I've made quite a bit of money online, so he sees me as someone who's succeeded. Cool. That's not the only kind of person that can pull an audience and people listen to. The other kind of person that people listen to is someone who is on a journey. That can be you. Be the expert. You can be the guy on a journey. You can learn out loud. As you go, as you learn things, you can create classes and reports on those things that you learned, right? You don't need to be the expert. You definitely don't need to pretend to be the expert. Say, I don't know the answer to that, all right? You don't have to know everything. You only need to be a couple steps ahead of the people you're trying to help, right? You don't have to know everything. Matter of fact, it's better if you don't know everything, right? Because people can relate to you more. They're more interested in buying off of a real person who they can relate to. I promise you that. So yeah, you don't need to know everything. You can be the guy on a journey. You don't need to have arrived to pull an audience. You can be the guy on a journey and pull an audience. You can learn out loud. Okay, so cool. This guy says procrastination holds him back from launching and putting out digital assets. Yeah, procrastination. Again, you guys, schedule the one thing a day, time block. Payment gateways are a problem. We talk about payment gateways, guys. I talked to you about how I use PayPal. I talked to you about calling them before I do a launch. I talked to you about making sure I had a business account with PayPal linked to my checking account. Those things have worked for me. I've never had a problem. And then the last one is unique product creation. And we talked about that, unique product creation. Guys, we get hung up on originality, right? The originality is not strategy you're teaching. The originality a lot of times is in you. The originality, it's in your deliverability, not necessarily the stuff you're teaching, right? Now, sometimes we come out with methods that are original that nobody's ever heard of, but not always, not always. But I'll tell you something, if you come out with a method that's original that no one's ever heard of and you deliver it poorly, try to be perfect, you know, and it's very stiff, you're going to bore people to death, man. And it's not going to be as cool as someone teaching something that some people know, some people don't know, and they just deliver it in their own way, unique way. And another thing about this unique product creation thing, you guys, here's what you need to understand, okay? Just because you know it, just because you've bought 1,000 million, you know, digital products and you've heard that information before, that doesn't mean everybody has. That's their first product they've ever bought. They didn't know that information, right? Some people know about it, some people don't know about it. Job to put out information that will help people and do it in a way that entertains them, right? And that's the job, man. That's the game, you know. Don't get so hung up on unique, original information. The actionable content doesn't need to be necessarily unique. It needs to be actionable. It needs to be proven. The steps you give people to do don't necessarily need to be unique steps. They need to be proven steps. They need to really actually help people. Your delivery, that's where you want to try to be unique. And it's easy for you to be unique. You just need to work on being yourself. All right? Anyways, I think we're done with this FAQ. That's all the comments I had on there. The rest of them, the comments that I didn't put on here were just, you know, big fish marketers commenting on my post trying to vie for authority. And I'm not going to include them. So anyways, I think that's it, guys. Man, again, you guys, thanks so much for picking up Cloud Money. I've really enjoyed teaching this course. I appreciate all you guys for being here. Hit me up by email, hit me up in the course Cloud Money here. And, you know, let me know. I want to hear about your struggles. I want to hear about your success stories. I want to hear your questions. Hit me up. Hope you guys are doing awesome out there. Peace, love, success. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, everybody.